Eric has a few names in the silver space and in the gold space which he's very passionate about. These are often names where he has skin in the game himself. So quick fire round now, and obviously none of this is investment advice. Everyone has to do their own homework and know their own limits, know their risk profiles, etc., etc., etc. But what's a gold stock that you currently like, a gold miner, and the 3 reasons why you're interested right now?
Yeah, so this one, disclaimer, I'm actually an active consultant to this company. It's the only one that I have, which is New York Stock Exchange, Amex, Toronto Stock Exchange listed, and that's International Tower Hill Mines. So that's symbol THM on the US exchange. And that's the more liquid one. They also have a Canadian listing, ITH, on the Toronto Stock Exchange. The market cap as of today is $180 million. But what happened fairly recently, because we're seeing the big ones are running along with the price of gold. The juniors are not seeing the capital flows yet, but one area in the middle that I like a lot are what we call these development stage companies. So you have a situation where, okay, number one, John Paulson, he owns over 30% of International Tower Hill, and he's been in it for almost 15 years. Okay. You have 4 fund managers, 4 institutions, Electrum Group, which are also extremely smart money in gold, Tom Kaplan, John Paulson from Paulson and Company, Sprott, which was run by a legendary John Hathaway portfolio manager who's getting up there, but he's the one who is the reason why they have a 11% stake in THM, and Kopernik Funds. Tom Eigen, I believe is his name. They're a generalist fund, but they also own like 8 or 9%. So 74% of International Tower Hill is locked up by 4 institutions that are all way smarter than I am. And they have funded this company for 15 years. They don't need any money. They don't need my money. They do the last several offerings. When I talked to the CEO, Carl Hanneman, and the chairman, Marcelo Kim, about the opportunity here months and months and months ago, when I started buying back into it about a year ago, when it was under 50 cents, essentially, every raise they've done, I said, can my group get some of your next placement? They have 13.6 million ounces of gold that are already found through all of these stages. That's at this Live and Good project, and it's based in Alaska. Okay. There was a rule changed about 43-101s in 2014-15 that meant you had to exclude certain parts of your asset. At that time, it was over 20 million ounces. So this is way bigger than 20 million ounces, but officially 13.6 million. But they did on the $3.9 million raise, they included enough to do a study. They have millions of tons of stibnite, which is antimony, which is the most difficult situation for the United States military and government, because antimony is controlled by China, 90% of it. We get all of it from them. They've cut us off. We have no domestic production, but they have super high grades. If you dig deep into their feasibility study, they've got the antimony. The reason I think that's important is you can buy just gold in the ground right now for like $12, $13 an ounce in the ground, which is ridiculous for when gold's trading at 3,300. And this thing is as far along as it is. The reason that it was underpriced and is still underpriced, but has been changing. So when I started buying it up en masse in Q4 last year, it was about 50 cents US a share. And we were able to put a big position on, and now it's like closer to $1. It's like 88 cents today, I think. So we've had a move, but it's nowhere near the move that I'm looking for. The reason that it's starting to come alive is because people that are wanting to go one risk level down for bigger returns, this is the area they go. There's like Vista Gold, Seabridge, Northern Dynasty, Nova Gold, things like that. With antimony in the past, companies had to only in their study They had to find out how much the antimony would impede their ability to mine the gold. Now, antimony prices have gone from $8,000 a ton to $60,000 a ton in the last year. We have big problems. So, what I think is happening now, and we have like a 3.5 year runway. Number one, people were worried about investing big money in Alaska because of the environmentalists. Even though there are many mines that run there, it was like, okay, how are you guys actually going to build this enormous gold mine? So we've got the Trump administration there, which has allowed people to say, yeah, Alaska's got so many resources. We need to put money into Alaska. But the second thing, these guys at Paulson are copying the playbook from a company called Perpetua Resources, PPTA in the US. It's about $1 billion market cap. I've followed them there. These are smart guys. They do things right. You know, they've got hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of their own money, John Paulson's money, not fund money, his money in International Tower Hill and Perpetua. And Perpetua has been a big performer. But the reason is they've got about 6 million ounces of gold and it's higher grade than Live and Good. But Live and Good's got more than twice that size. And we always knew with International Tower Hill, it wasn't going to become a serious conversation of being an economic mine until gold got around 2,500. So it was like a call option on higher gold prices. We're well above that now. I mean, if I do my work on the NPV, it's incredible what discount this thing is trading at. But with Perpetua, they got their permit to build the Stibnite mine federally and statewide through the fact that they have a low grade antimony byproduct, but they have a lot of it. The Pentagon gave them $60 million just to speed up permitting. Now they've got $2.8 billion in money and commitments in loans and grants from federal agencies to build their gold mine in Idaho so that they can get the byproduct in 3 or 4 years of the antimony. This is all real. Check it out. Guess who's the chairman of Perpetua? It's a partner of John Paulson, a protege of him, Marcelo Kim. Guess who's the chairman of International Tower Hill? Marcelo Kim. You think they're not going to take advantage of the fact that they could get government money, expedited permitting if they want for Live and Good as well? But nobody's paying attention to this yet. I mean, the stock's gone up a bit, but if you look at the chart, we're still under a buck. But what most people don't even realize, and I remember this, I was still early in the space, THM traded to $10.50 a share in 2011 when they had way less gold, way less studies, way less everything. That's a $10 price tag. And if you look at where THM was at 10 bucks back then versus where it is now, and if we do get a further gold bull market, we don't even need gold to go up from here. If gold stays around 3,000, THM and some of the companies like them are now starting to move and they're going to keep moving because this thing is in play at $2,500 gold and it's been very underpriced. That's my best idea for viewers because it's not like super tiny. I mean, you got to watch what you buy it up to, but the upside is very good on a conservative nature with just that chart that points right to the $3 area USD. But beyond that, so when you talk about managing risk, Roger, in this area, like if I was talking to you at a pub in London, I'd say, dude, go buy THM right now. Put a good amount of money into it. And when it hits towards that first target, sell a third or a half of it and then see if for free on the house, if it goes to 10 or 20 or 30 or 50 bucks a share. Like, and then so let's say you sell the third, you get your principal out at around 3, and then you wait. And then if it goes towards 10, you sell another third, you've had a major, huge gains already. And you could keep a little bit just to see, because some of these companies with these big assets that actually can get permitted and turn into huge 30, 40, 50-year mines, they're going to start getting acquired by big companies. And that's going to really accelerate towards a bull top in gold, which I just don't feel like we're anywhere near.
Is there a specific stock in the silver space that you like, and what would be the three very simple reasons why you like it?
Okay, so I have to say this first though. When I look at gold, I run a letter called Gold Investment Letter, which means it gives me carte blanche to, basically talk about any minerals or metals in mining. And silver is always so closely associated with the moves in silver. Usually it overdoes it on the downside of the upside because of the extra industrial applications, but it also has been a monetary metal for millennia. But on one of my recent videos, I said that I thought two-thirds to 85% of people that read the gold investment letter that are gold people, when gold went from 1900 to 3400, gold itself, they didn't own any gold or they owned very little. So remember, having exposure to something like silver, which is extreme, it's the cheapest commodity precious metal, I believe, in the market, okay? Because of the fact its previous highs, $50 an ounce, was first hit in 1980. It made one attempt in 2011. We haven't even made the third or fourth attempt like we did with gold, but that was after it already broke its 1980 highs a decade earlier. So silver itself at 36 bucks, just to go back and test 50 is a really nice 35, 37% return, okay? And you should have some physical silver exposure. I'm going to give you mining stocks and leverage, but don't shy away from having some silver exposure. There's always this talk about the silver manipulation by 8 banks. Many of them were charged for that. They can't do that anymore, Roger. They're going to get run over. I don't care who you are. They're going to get run over. It's too cheap. So there's a lot of upside just in owning. I mean, you could buy, there's a DQP, I think it is, which is the 2X silver ETF. You have SLV, whatever. You can buy the Sprott or the Aberdeen actual ETF. You could buy long-term leap call options for leverage on that on the silver price. So that's my pseudo silver stock, is owning the actual silver because there's so much upside on the price. Then when we go into the stocks, I'm going to give you two. First Majestic, which is a substantial silver producer. They've also gotten into gold, so it's not pure silver production, but it's a $4 billion market cap company. I like this one a lot because it is really well run, and they still are known as a primary silver producer. And there just aren't that many stocks, Roger. Like if you look for gold miners, there's hundreds, if not thousands, you could buy that have primary gold assets. Go look for silver producers that are primary silver producers and primary silver exploration and development companies. It's like 5% is my guess of the amount of choices you have for gold. So if you look at First Majestic, the highest that it went in 2021 was 24 bucks. Okay, so you've got yourself a nice little triple if it goes back to those old highs. I think it's going to go higher than that. You have to remember one other thing about the metals and mining space that's super interesting for producers. Anybody that produces these metals, you were on a leash, man. Your cost to all in sustaining costs to produce gold when it was at 17, 18, 1900, 2000, very few companies making any money. Now you've had this massive move higher and your costs have only gone up marginally. Your bottom line is exploding. Earnings from gold mining companies are through the roof. That's why they're the best performers in the market. Silver can be even more leveraged. So I like First Majestic quite a bit. But the last thing I'll say is if somebody wants a little bit more broad exposure, I own a lot of the Silver Junior Mining ETF. And they're not like super tiny companies, but I think that is going to do very well. It should outperform silver. It should outperform the silver large production companies if silver really starts to go. And that's a way to have diversity in one vehicle. And it's very legit. And it's at about 14 and a half bucks a share right now. If you see a First Majestic go from 8 to 24, you should see the same type of returns or possibly even better.
Obviously, you've got to do your homework when you're looking across these stocks, which is what Eric does. He has some very clear attributes that he likes. These are not his own recommendations. These are the ones that he is passionate about, and very often he has skin in the game. Remember, all of this is for educational and engagement purposes only. Please do your own research and invest based on your own risk limits and why you're investing in the first place.